It was probably one of the dopest environments that we've seen in a while. Everybody's always talking about ain't nobody here yet. But then when the game starts, everybody shows up, and they got a chance to witness probably one of the best games that Texas has played this season. What was your takeaway?
First, as always, more appreciate y'all having me on. Biggest takeaway: this team appears to have found something within itself, right, guys? And for me, it's hard to just attribute this to effort and energy, right? The reason I say that, Mark and Hard, is because we're not talking about a young group. We're talking about the sixth oldest team in college basketball with an average of 2.7 years Division I experience. These are guys who should know at this point in their career they need to play hard, not just to win at this level, but for whatever futures they may want to have. So what I attribute the last two wins, knocking off number 13 Alabama, and of course knocking off number 10 Vandy last night, led by a really resounding effort on both ends of the floor. What I attribute it to is I think this team is finding some cohesion. Guys are learning how Sean Miller wants it done, and more importantly, because I don't think it's just one-sided. I'm going to be a little bit I don't want to say critical, but I'm going to look at Sean a little bit and say I think he's learning how to best use some of these guys as well.
What did you think about the entry passing? You heard audibly Sean screaming, get it inside, like screaming. And the passes were getting the vocatitis at a high rate.
Mark, it's interesting you bring up that nugget, because when we spoke with Sean post-game, and maybe this is just him just being a coach, he said, yeah, we did it okay, but I think we need to learn when to do it within the possession and, to do it better in that sense, right? So to your point, I think they certainly did it better, because Matis is a guy, for whatever you want to say about him as a growing talent, he makes a pretty decisive move. When he gets the ball at a good spot, down on the block, he's pretty decisive. But Sean Miller, the reason I say it's interesting you noted that, because Sean Miller said, I think our guys need to learn when to get him the ball in the possession. And in their defense, there's not really a true point guard on this team.